A sus2. And then here's number 33. Here's number 34. Again. And then here's number 35, F sharp minor 7. And here's number 36, G7. And then here's 37. Now, that's all of them. So you'll notice that some of them kind of sound better than others. Truthfully, I'm not playing them exactly how they should sound, because frankly, I haven't played all of these before and used them in context and how they're supposed to be played. But that just gives you an idea of what you can be doing. In my article, make sure you check it out on my website. I'm going to list some other extremely common progressions, many of which are actually in this list. It's just you won't recognize them at first. But anyway, let's now that I've gotten that out of the way, I showed you how to play all those. Oh shit, I just ran out of memory. Anyway, I guess that didn't work. Anyway, so unfortunately my audio recorder didn't work, so I'm just gonna have to use the computers. But anyway, let's talk about the major scale. This is a really useful thing to memorize, and I'm not even kidding. Like when people tell you to learn this stuff, you really should. It's very helpful. Learning, mostly what I like about it is learning that the actual order of the chords and the scale. For instance, you have the first, this applies to all the scales, right? So that's why it's so useful, because it's so applicable and in so many ways. So you have your first chord, which is a major, second minor, third minor, fourth major, fifth major, major and dominant seventh. The sixth is the minor, and then the final is half diminished. The good thing about this too is that if you learn the modes is with it as well. You know, you have your Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, Aeolian, and Locrian. We'll talk about modes in another video, an article, but you know, it's all of this stuff. It kind of works together. Like when you learn one thing and you learn another, like it all just starts falling together in a way that makes it very useful. So make sure you memorize the order of the scales. Excuse me, the chords, because the reason why is because it's applicable all over the neck, and it's applicable in many different ways. For instance, if you know that your song is in the key of A major, you know, well, now you know the chords of that scale. You know the chords, all the chords in that song. You know, with some, perhaps depending on how complicated the music is, there might be more alterations and exceptions and so on and so forth. However, you're going to have a really good idea of what's in that song. Moreover, you can learn arpeggios, and you can learn, you know, different arpeggios for each chord, different shapes, and it's just very useful, you know. Let's also explain what the triad is. A triad is basically just a root, third, and the fifth. That's another thing that's going to help you contextualize this information and help you understand why some chords sound good together. Because really a triad, you're just taking the notes and then you're building chords. Excuse me, you're taking the notes from the scale and you're building chords from it. So you have your, you know, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, right? Well, you just, to get a C major, you just take the C and then the E and then the G. The notes are one apart from each other, excuse me, two apart from each other. So C, E, G, that's a C major, and then D, F, A, that's a D minor, and then E, G, B, that's an E minor, and then F, A, C, that's an F major, and then G, B, D, that's a G major, and then if you add the F sharp, it's a dominant seventh, and then A, C, E, it's an A minor, and then B, D, F is half diminished. So I mean, you're just taking every other note, and then that's how you're building those chords. So it's very simple. It's just made up of the root, the third, and the fifth. And once you learn your intervals, like minor, major, perfect, augmented, diminished, and so on and so forth, augmented, I don't know if I said that, you have another way to kind of understand these things and contextualize it. In terms of the minor scale, it's less important to learn, but also useful. So really, the order of it is just a bit different. How I remember it is that it's the third, the sixth, and the seventh are major. So you have your third, which is major, your sixth, which is major, and your seventh is major. Look here, C major, F major, G major, dominant seventh. So the rest of them are either minor or diminished. And in the minor case, it's the second is diminished. So I mean, it's really easy to remember it. You just have to kind of memorize a few things, and then you can apply it. What else should I talk about here? Unfortunately, my theoretical knowledge isn't good enough where I can explain precisely why chords sound good together, but I know it has to do with the intervalic relationships with each other and how they work in conjunction with the scale and the musical context that you're playing in. I can't explain to you exactly, why each one works together, but as I just said, it's the intervals that matter. And yeah, but anyway, before I don't want to waste any more time just ranting at you. So just if you want to check out these chord progressions, I mean, that's what the purpose of this article is, just to give you an idea of what you can be playing. So make sure you check these out. And yeah, I hope this video was more helpful to you. And I guess I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.